Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Oh Jai Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let that go to Hari Bol, Hari Bol, let that go to Hari Bol. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Oh Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Bolo Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare, Patita Pavana Gaura Hare. Jai Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Avatita Pavana Gaura Hare. Hare Haraye Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudha. Vita Goja Hariva, 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 Hariva. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Satasi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Shri Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Sujeeva Gopal Badadas Raghunath Sadagoswami Prabhu Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Gangamai Yamunamai Bhakti Devi Tulasi Maharani Ki Harinama Sankirtan Yajna Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai Subhadarshana Arati Ki Prahlad Narasimhadev Ki Shri Shri Radha Dhamodar Ki Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Shri Shri Panchatattva Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribol, what are you regularly reading Bhagavatam? That Bhagavatam class should go on. Third canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishriki. Reading from Canto 3, Chapter 14. Pregnancy of Diti in the evening. From chapter 14, text 8 onwards. Ditirdakshayani kshattara maricham kashyapam pati apatya chakam me sandhyayam hrichayardhitaha. Translation: Diti, daughter of Daksha, being afflicted with sex desire, begged her husband Kashyapa, the son of Marichi, to have intercourse with her in the evening in order to beget a child. Ishtva agni jihvam payasa purusham yajusham patim nimlochati arka asinam agni agare samahitam. The sun was setting and the sage was sitting in trance after offering oblations to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, whose tongue is the sacrificial fire. Purport: fire is considered to be the tongue of the Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and oblations of grains and clarified butter offered to the fire are thus accepted by him. That is the principle of all sacrifices, of which Lord Vishnu is the master. In other words, the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu includes the satisfaction of all demigods and other living beings. Ditiruvacha yeshamam tvatkrite vidvan khama atha sarasanah dunoti dinam vikramya rambham iva matangajah. In that place, the beautiful Diti expressed her desire. O learned one, Cupid is taking his arrows and distressing me forcibly, as a mad elephant troubles a banana tree. Purport: beautiful Diti, seeing her husband absorbed in trance, began to speak loudly, not attempting to attract him by bodily expressions. She frankly said that her whole body was distressed by sex desire because of her husband's presence, just as a banana tree is troubled by a mad elephant. It was not natural for her to agitate her husband when he was in a trance, but she could not control her strong sexual appetite. Her sex desire was like a mad elephant, and therefore it was the prime duty of her husband to give her all protection by fulfilling her desire. Tad bhavan dahyamanayam swapatninam samhridivi prajavatinam badram te mayi ayungtam anugraham. Therefore you should be kind towards me by showing me complete mercy. I desire to have sons, and I am much distressed by seeing the opulence of my co-wives. By performing this act, you will become happy. Purport: in the Bhagavad Gita, sexual intercourse for begetting children is accepted as righteous. A person sexually inclined for simple sense gratification, however, is unrighteous. In Diti's appeal to her husband for sex, it was not exactly that she was afflicted by sex desire, but she desired sons. Since she had no sons, she felt poorer than co-wives. Therefore, Kashyapa was supposed to satisfy his bona fide wife. Bharatari aptorumananam lokan avishate yashah patir bhavat vidho yasam prajaya nanujayate. A woman is honored in the world by the benediction of her husband. And a husband like you will become famous by having children because you are meant for the expansion of living entities. Purport: according to Rishabhadeva, one should not become a father or mother unless one is confident that he can beget children whom he can deliver from the clutches of birth and death. Human life is the only opportunity to get out of the material scene, which is full of the miseries of birth, death, old age and diseases. Every human being should be given the opportunity to take advantage of his human form of life, and a father like Kashyapa is supposed to beget good children for the purpose of liberation. Pura pita no bhagavan daksho dukhitra vatsalah kam vranita varam vatsa iti aprachata nah pratak. In days long ago, our father, the most opulent Daksha, who was affectionate to his daughters, asked each of us separately whom he would prefer to select as our husband. Purport: appears from this verse that free selection of a husband was allowed by the father, but not by a free association. The daughters were asked to separately to submit their selection of a husband who was famous for his acts and personality. The ultimate selection depended on the choice of the father. Saviditvatmajanamno bhavam santana bhavanah trayo dasha dadat tasam yaste shilamanuvratah. Our well-wishing father Daksha, after knowing our intentions, handed over 13 of his daughters unto you. And since then we have all been faithful. Generally the daughters were too shy to express their opinions before their father, but the father would accept the daughter's intentions through someone else, such as a grandmother to whom the grandchildren had free access. King Daksha collected the opinions of his daughters, thus handed over 13 to Kashyapa. Every one of Diti's sisters was a mother of children. Therefore she was equally faithful to the same husband. Why should she remain without children? Atame kuru kalyanam kamam kamalalochana artopasarpanam bhuman amogham hi mahiyasi. O lotus-eyed one, kindly bless me by fulfilling my desire. When someone in distress approaches a great person, his plea should never go in vain. Diti knew well that her request might be rejected because of the untimely situation, but she pleaded that when there is emergency or a distressful condition, there is no consideration of time or situation. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Tam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki somebody will say how there are such things in the Bhagavatam. Oh, Bhagavatam has got even these type of things. Bhagavatam has got adventure, Bhagavatam has got romance, Bhagavatam has got war, Bhagavatam has got intrigue, Bhagavatam has got politics. Bhagavatam has licit sex desire and illicit sex desire all accounted for and spoken about. So sometimes we are not very comfortable discussing these topics. But for the benefit of Bhakti Vaibhav students who are doing this canto, and for many other reasons of things happening in the world, we have chosen this particular aspect of the Bhagavatam. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamo asmi bharatarshaba. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, sex life that is not contrary to religious principles is me itself. Is me itself. So a husband and wife engaging in this aspect, sexual intercourse, for the sake of producing children is bona fide. They are supposed to do it. People, if you want to put fan for me, you put for Prabhupada also fan, or put it off. The whole thing that discussion is, it's a dharma. It is a dharma, a Vaishnava Grihastha's dharma, a Grihastha's dharma, generally speaking, that you get married to produce children. Putrartet kriyet bharya putrapinda prayojanam. For the sake of putra, putrartet kriyete bharya. Bharya means wife. For the sake of producing son, I accept wife. And why you want son? Putrapinda prayojanam. The son should be able to offer pinda and do my last rites when I die. For that sake. This is the reason, technical reason for getting married and having a son. That is why if you get married and don't have a son, putrahinam griham shunyam. If you don't have a son, your griha is zero, shunya. Your grihastha life is useless. That is mentioned. These are all varnashrama rules. This is very high class society, highly cultured people. This is how they live. So, Prabhupada explaining here, sex life is not for sense gratification. It is only for producing children. If you read this immediately, they'll put this book down and say, never read it again today. Because the opposite is true. I get married for the sake of having sense gratification, not for children. In Kali Yuga, it is just the opposite. How? I get married for the sake of having fun, for the sake of having sense gratification. Children and all are simply unnecessary byproduct. Are an unnecessary burden and a byproduct. In fact, you should not have children. So many of them don't have children. They are married, don't have children. This is what is Grihastha life now. Putrahinam griham shunyam. Grihastha life also shunya. Zero Grihastha life. Why? Don't have a child. Now this is very difficult for most people to accept. Well, if you don't accept, there are natural consequences to that happen. Now you get married and you don't have children. And you live life like that. Then you become 50 years old, 60 years old. Then you look back, there is no population. The whole country has no population. Japan, there is no juniors. Everybody is 60 years old. And they're wondering, whole Japan is finished. And now only they're waking up. The birth rate, fertility rate is 1.1. Which means that you need 2.1 birth rate in order for the race to survive. For human race to survive in that area and the community to continue functioning. 1.1 and all means definitely finished. So in many countries in the world, they are giving money for now becoming a mother, father. In Singapore, they are giving $2,500 if you have a baby per month. Simply if you have a baby. And there are so many schemes now to have a baby. Please have a child. Look at what the consequences are. There's no population. In Finland, I remember earlier days, at that time itself they used to say, the Finnish race is finished. Finns are called Finnish race. Jai Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadramayaki. The Finnish race is finished. No youngsters. Now only they are waking up. But on the other hand, some religious people like Muslims, birth rate is 5.1. They have almost 8 to 9 children per person. And each person has several wives, increasing their population. They have done correct. And these people in Europe and all, they have gone and settled. And they are increasing the population, but the Europeans' population is not there. Now they are in a very difficult situation. Giving money and saying, I don't want to take responsibility. Children and all that, pain in the neck. I want to go to work. I want to earn money. I want to become powerful, rich. For what? For what? You don't have children or anything. I give for charity. What charity you give for? Feeding poor children in Africa. Wouldn't you have a child and feed it? It's too much responsibility. Some religious organization is doing that, catching hold of a lot of children. And there are more such charitable organizations coming up because there is money like this and catching some children. We are feeding and collecting money. All sorts of things happen. You break some natural law of nature, you cannot be without consequences. These are all laws laid down by the Supreme Lord. See, that's why it's mentioned that dharma means dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. These are all not ordinary things. These are all laws enacted by the Supreme Lord Himself. It is meant for you, for your good, for your prosperity, for your material prosperity, spiritual prosperity. Krishna is looking after you like a father. And He has made this system, telling, please follow my son, it will be good for you. I want you to be happy. Just like every father thinks the son should be happy. He is willing to work for the son. He is willing to give gift, any amount of money you ask. You want vehicle, you want this. His son is also very happy. My father has given me this. I must look after it responsibly. I must do it nicely. There is a bonding affection between the son and the father. And there is prosperity, good understanding, good relationship. Krishna also wants with all of us good relationship, good understanding. And therefore He has spoken the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore He has given us the Sanatana Dharma. Therefore He has given us nice holy men scriptures, holy men, whole process of dharma, bhakti yoga, everything. Why can't we follow it? Why can't we follow it? We want to create a parallel alternative law, man-made law, and then try to follow it. And see, it's also working. It's not working. It's actually not working. You're making it look like it is working. It has got so many repercussions. Short-term and long-term repercussions. But Krishna, He has designed the whole world. And He is your dear father, Pitahamasya Jagato Mata Data Pitamaha. Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. And He has made this process and design. We have to follow it. So you will see these instances in the Bhagavatam meant to illustrate that. So here Prabhupada is saying Diti is not wrong. She is feeling great lust. And she is telling her husband, satisfy me. That is the position she has taken. But her real desire underneath is, all my other co-wives have got so many children. Why I don't have even one single children? One child I don't have. And for a married woman, that is the biggest accomplishment. I am here for helping you to produce children. That is the meaning of Stri. Stri means expansion. Expansion of the family. We are two of us. You make more. And you're supposed to make a family. Griha, Grihastha. It is meant for that purpose. Meant for that purpose. You can't get married and not have children. Why do you have to get married? That's why the value of marriage is lost. Now the government of India is trying to, out of appeal, the Supreme Court took an appeal to a same-sex marriage. Want to make it legal. As though there is something called marriage for association with two members of the same gender. Marriage has nothing to do with that. Because if you think that marriage is meant for sense gratification, then you will get marriage, same-sex marriage also. Tomorrow you will get a marriage with another animal also. You will go one by one. Because your intention is sense gratification. But that is not what marriage is meant for. That is not for a marriage is meant for procreation. Meant for producing the human population. And if everybody uses marriage only for this purpose, this is what you will find. No population. Just a lot of animals staying together and having sense gratification. And now they are thinking about why only women, why of the same gender also we can do this. What horrible. You will not be a human being anymore. You cannot be a human being. Now understand, so many people are now understanding, even those who don't have faith in anything religious. Something is wrong. Something is wrong in what we are doing. So the Supreme Court has said, no, we don't recognize this. We cannot. Out of the 5 judges, 2, including the Chief Justice of India, are for same-sex marriage. The other together became majority. They said no. 2 for it and the rest against it. Against 5, I think, against it. We can't, we have no right to give a definition for what marriage is. So they had a lot of reasons, said no. This is not something for Supreme Court to say, let the government do it if they want to pass a law. Like hot coals, they don't know how to handle it. Why? The basic thing is what is shown here. The wife, Diti, she is approaching her husband and saying, I want to have children. I want to have children. I must have children. My grihastha life should be complete. I should be a mother. Then only my growth as a woman will be correct. My motherhood, my womanhood will be advancing. In the process of empowering women economically, we have failed to empower womanhood. Woman empowerment is one thing, but womanhood becomes disempowered. If you can keep both together, it is fine. You see many In history you will see so many of them. They were both doing their womanhood duties and doing extra duties also for the husband. You will see Kaikai went to her husband with her husband to war, Dhritarashtra, to war and helped him in the war also. Such a great moral support. Like that, women are got an amazing role to play. They should play that role in society, in the social thing. Then society will function nicely, correctly. There should be children. There should be family. Then only human growth will grow in such a way that it will move towards God, move towards understanding of spiritual life. There is a design for human society. Not only for human society, for all societies. Even in the animal kingdom, you get married and have children. Maybe they don't have this type of marriage and official things that is too civilized. But they have children. They have children. And they have that subtle sense of a family, everybody running around together. Protection, everything is offered by the father and mother. You can look everywhere, you'll see. That's natural. So, in this beautiful instance, Kashyapa Muni, a very powerful sage, he has married 13 daughters of Daksha. Not 1, 2. Look at his capacity. He can have 13 wives. Married means immediately you should not think, Patamuna. Don't get very thrilled. It is actually responsibility. In those days, it is like 13 wives' responsibility. And he's got 13 families. And he is giving support to the entire family. What is he doing? He is in a trance meditating on Vishnu. Not an ordinary person. Not a local stupid fellow getting married to 13 people and doing some business and giving everybody money and doing all sorts of funny things. He is a completely fixed person, fixed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. He is offering his yajna every day and is absorbed in Krishna fully. You will see Kashyapa Muni's characteristics also mentioned. He is a very exalted person. That is why it is mentioned all of them chose Kashyapa Muni, all the ladies. Why? He is spiritually very powerful person. I want him to be my husband. Because then I can produce spiritually powerful children and my family life will be pakka. Because my children will all be Krishna conscious, my husband is Krishna conscious, I will definitely go back to Godhead. In the womanly body that I have, I must achieve perfection. So I need to have a husband who is completely fixed in Krishna. That is what is their desire. That is what is their desire. Today, as soon as you go for a marriage match, the right opposite they will ask. What job you have got? What is the salary? Have you got property? The son, how many other children are there? In-laws, what are they doing? All material questions only. Not one question, is the husband God conscious? That doesn't matter at all. They don't ask that question at all. They never ask that question. Because it is not a criterion at all. You just see how society has changed. And we take this for reality. We take this for reality. Actually, the wife should be asking, oh, who is this person? What is his status? So the women will either be looking at somebody who is very dharmic, highly kshatriya type person, who is a king who supports the whole praja by protecting them, is chivalrous, is powerful. Like that they will get attracted to somebody who protects dharma. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. I want to be the wife of such a person. Or that person is completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness in the forest as a sage. He has no property, nothing. One good say he has got. No, I want to marry him only. Why? This is what happened with Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Devahuti is Swayambhuva Manu's daughter. Manu, emperor of the whole world. She was so beautiful that she did not go outside. On the top of the terrace, she was playing with a ball. One Gandharva flying in the sky. Gandharva means from another loka, Gandharva loka. Flying in the sky. What is this beautiful female here in the earth? Who is this? He came close and saw, and as he came closer and saw, he became so enamored, he lost his flying potency and fell down. Why? He became so enamored by her beauty. She was so beautiful. Not only that, she was very talented. Because son of a very good education, the best of education in all fields. Very beautiful looking, no dance, drama, music, cooking, that thing, this thing, everything. Highly talented. Father asked, it's time for you to get married. Whom are you inclined to marry? Because I am emperor, I can get anybody you want. I want you to be happy. She told that person sitting in the forest, no, Kardama Muni. Full beard, hair, only one gamcha around his waist, sitting in the Gudise and doing Swaha, Om Vishnave Namaha. That person. We don't want to marry all the rich kings and everybody, all useless kings. That's the person I have fixed my mind on. He was very surprised. My daughter is very God conscious, very good. I'll take you whomever you want. He took Swayambhu Muni, took Devahuti to the forest. In a big chariot he came. Very opulent chariot. He go inside the forest, inside all the matas and everything, all the forest people, all the sages. He went there and approached Kardama Muni, paid obeisances to him. My dear sage, my position is like this. My daughter desires to marry you. Normally he would have had daughter marriage and I am going back to Godhead, just getting ready. I am almost going back to Godhead. That's what it will be. No. Kardama Muni also, he wanted to be a Grahastha and render his Grahastha duties and then go back to Godhead. He was requesting the Lord, I want a wife who will be very supportive for my Krishna consciousness. Please. Because all sorts of people will come, please arrange. The Lord arranged Devahuti to come with Swayambhuva Manu and submit. So as soon as he saw her, he said, yes, Krishna has arranged for me. Not only she is beautiful, she is very this, everything. And that's all. He went ahead, got married. In the forest, they got married. Immediately she became a ascetic, a rishi's wife. She's in the palace, so rich, so much facilities. Completely she changed. She's just serving him from morning to night. I'm just explaining this because it is the opposite of this instance. It's the right opposite of this instance. She served him from morning to evening. Very beautiful lady, became so thin. Hair and all like Jadamudi it became. And morning to evening, she's early morning, getting up at 3 o'clock, drawing water from the well, from the stream, taking bath in the cold water, observing all the austerities for the husband, cleaning the place, and then he will come and do his yajna, read his shastra. He's not looking at her at all. He's very absorbed. And she's not talking at all much. Simply do the service. Then one day, he suddenly looks at her and said, my gosh, what happened to you? Only then he is noticing, what happened to you? You were once upon a time a beautiful lady brought by your father from the palace. You are a princess. And now you become like nothing. So sincerely you are serving me. And you are my wife. I have not bothered to ask you what you need. So, out of feeling of gratitude, affection, love for his wife, what a nice lady. She is not asking anything and simply serving. And she is from a big palace. How much control she has over herself. So he told, my dear wife, how you have become. You are so sincerely serving me. You are not asking for one thing. I am so pleased with your service. Please tell me what you want. Immediately she said, what else does a wife want? I am asking for a child. She took the opportunity and asked. And he said, I must satisfy you. Instantly he did. He created a city. He is such powerful person. He created a huge airship like a city. Airship can fly from one universe to the other. Not ordinary foreign trip. Not trip to Vrindavana, Jagannath Puri, Srirangam and all that. And not to America, Europe and some Maldives islands also. From universe to universe. Airship he made. Not even like Chandrayaan and all. They're not very chota. What is that new one going to the sun? Aditya. Not like that and all. These huge parks, hills, mountains, rivers, beautiful resort, everything together, waterfalls, fruit trees, anything you want. Whole city flying from one place to the other. Can you imagine? If you serve a husband like Kardama Muni and if he becomes pleased, whatever you want. Not only that, he said, now you're looking so scrawny and all your beauty and all gone. I assign you specially 50 super wonderful ladies who are beauticians. Not the ordinary boutique here, put some brush here, this thing and all that and grow some hair for you and make you look just for the event. And after you take off the makeup in the night, my gosh, you'll be like a Rakshashi. The Ravana's Rakshashi, one of them, you look like that. But by makeup, you look very nice. Not like that. She is originally beautiful. So they took her and treated her with herbs, this, everything. And her original beauty came out. Not only that, beyond that also she looked very beautiful. Treated, paka, with herbal oils, this, that. Just a matter of some time. She was left with Kardama Muni. He said, come, let's go. Traveled all over. They had how many? 13 children. 13 children. I think all were daughters. 9 children. All were daughters. And then he told, now my job is over. You asked, give you. Now I want to go back. Meditate, go back to Godhead. You will also go back. She said, no, not over yet. Why, what? No son. You didn't give me a son. Okay, that also. Son, Kapila, born a son. Devahuti Putra Kapila, born a son. Then he says, okay, see you, gone. He has gone to his meditation, going back to Godhead. Son will preach to the mother, to Devahuti. This is the story. I'm giving you a very short version of it. Here, Diti also not having any children. And she is very worried. What am I doing? Like that. That feeling every, mother, a wife wants to be a mother and feel full as a woman with motherhood, have a child and then, she's a complete person. So she was feeling that I don't have children. So she came to this thing and when he is doing his oblations and he's in a trance, she comes and tells him, I want a child now. 2 different occasions. But both of them, they are dharmic. They are fully bona fide. The wife has every right to ask the husband, give me a child. In both situations, the wives are asking for child from their very powerful Krishna conscious husbands. And the husband is forced to abide by the request due to Such type of rules that exist. See, this is why it is very sophisticated life. You may have any amount of children. You can still be very Krishna conscious and create a Krishna conscious family and manage all of them to go back to Krishna. And it is not that only some families are like this. There are all sorts of families. Sudama also had a family. He is a devotee. But you see, all the grahasthas will do their duty of having children, bringing them up in a Krishna conscious way, taking the pains and whatever is necessary. That is your duty. That's your duty. So today, because they did not follow that prescription, that law, that rule, you find that in human society, people have no children. And because they don't have children, there is no population left. And they're all bothered about, they'll get married, have sense gratification only, no children. Then they're even talking about conquering aging and not dying. You don't make any contribution towards preserving the human race, and you don't want to die also. The human race will consist of aging people. We are conquering aging. Nobody will become old. You see, they will say only that much. Nobody will become old. Why? Then continue to have sense gratification till the end. But they never say we are conquering aging, there will be no death. That they don't say. They have not conquered death, they have only conquered aging. Why do you want to conquer aging? Because you want to always look good. Then only you can have sense gratification. So they are not bothered about the human race. They are not bothered about doing their duty to produce children and grow them up in Krishna consciousness. They are only bothered about themselves. I want to live more. My skin is all becoming wrinkled. I am 60 plus. Is there some way of going to this thing and rearranging it because I want to continue my sense gratification? I want to continue my sense gratification. Old age I want to conquer. I don't want to age. I want to die young. When I die, I should be very young. Nobody should see me as an old person with white hair, a wrinkled face and all that. Well, I don't want to be, I hope I don't live like that. I want to conquer age. So everybody is very busy. The cosmetic industry is a huge industry. So many people want to look young. Don't have children, but look young throughout your life. Conquer aging. You see the way society is moving. This is big technology. We are going to conquer the aging. Those cells and that type of DNA we are tweaking with so that age cells will not come and you will not become old. But one day you will die. Which is even worse than aging. You become ageless, one day Damal, you'll fall dead. All of a sudden. Get up in the morning and you'll die. You can't conquer death, but you want to conquer aging. It's because you want to have gratification throughout your life. And no population. And then you're worried. Then you give money for people to have babies. And they're saying, no. Very difficult. And somebody is saying, $2,500, how can I have baby? My rent itself in Singapore is $2,200 for a small flat, 500 square feet. What will your $2,500 do? Remaining money, who's going to pay? Therefore, I'm not having any children. Because if you really want me to have children, you'll pay all the money. You pay all the money. These are all the discussions going on. Every country is paying money. Every country is paying money. Some 13, 14 countries are actively paying money to all their population. Have a child, have a child. I'll give you money. In India alone, they are giving money for not having child. Because the population is growing beyond, it seems. They have found out 1.4 billion is the population of India. And the world's population is some 8 something billion. So we account for nearly 17 point something percentage of the total population of the world. So they are afraid that This all fear comes because you are not God conscious. Isavashyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha magradha kasya swadhanam. Ishavashyam idam, everything belongs to the Lord and He will make arrangements. You think He does not know how to look after His population? Everything is provided by Him. When you become God unconscious, then you get all sorts of fears. My gosh, who will give food? My gosh, the planet has got only so much. My water, this thing, that thing, all because it's man-made. You think it's made by you. The resultant of being God unconscious is fear, anxiety, all that. But if a person who is very God conscious, Krishna provides everything. He never bothers about any lack of this or that. He has got an abundance mentality. There is plenty for everybody. Krishna can provide. For the elephant in the forest, you are providing. It requires at least settling a few tons of food every week. Tons it eats. Rolls it up and eats. And if you start worrying about everybody, then you imagine what your life will be. It's not your business at all. How are all the animals being fed? Who's worried about them? The only thing the animals are worried about, the humans should not destroy us. Food and all, they are not worried. Only things animals are worried about is human beings. They are not worried. If you leave them alone, they are not worried about food and all. They grow nicely. They go in harmony with nature. Everything is provided. They are more God conscious than human beings. They don't depend on their own plants. That is really what's happening. But human beings, because they don't depend on God, because they depend on themselves and their great effort and their civilization and their forward march towards today we have put the man on the moon. They said once upon a time, and then now they have put the machine on the moon, and then we will do this, then we'll establish colonies. Already they're making plans for in that planet who will go here, who will take over this planet, like that. All sorts of plans. Things that are completely man-made. But if we follow Krishna's plan, we can have everything we need. We don't have to go to the moon. We can have everything we need here only. It's already provided. Why don't you maintain it properly? Why don't you bring Krishna in the center? Then you will see life will be different. Right? So following God's plan, following Krishna's plan, his instructions given in the Bhagavad Gita, should be the first thing everybody should be taught. People in families, people in government agencies, they should make sure people learn to follow God's laws. It doesn't matter which religion you belong to. You must be a follower of God's instructions. That is the first thing people should be told. Automatically human society will be fine. Right? So, like I told you, Bhagavatam deals with all sorts of topics. All sorts of topics. You can make a movie out of all these things. It will be very interesting for most people. The other side, the other explanation that you can give. This is not some pornographic thing going on here. That Diti is going to do something, and he is meditating. And, it's a nice, plot. And they will turn it around and produce something ugly out of it. But this is the tenor. This is the meaning. Diti is a highly chaste lady. It's happening within the level of her chastity. She's going only to her husband, not going to anybody else. And she has every right. She is telling, who else will I go to? I want to have children. So, this is a dharmic society, and these are two highly dutiful grahasthas. And within that setting, this is happening. So don't mistake it to be something else. It's not some, two people having an affair. So we should be able to study it on the basis of Shastra, on the basis of Dharma, on the basis of duties of Grahastha life. Within that setting, this is happening. So it's perfectly bona fide. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bhartarshaba. So it's a completely new perspective for most people in this world. But that is the nature of dharma. And within that, a human being can function. This is the meaning of being restricted, but at the same time, within that restriction, having whatever enjoyment is due to you. This was the instruction given by Lord Chaitanya to Raghunath Das Goswami, who came to him and he said, I don't want to live any grahastha life, nothing. I want to come with you, dance and chant and become renounced. I'll give up my family life. He said, no, you have not lived your family life first of all properly. First you live your family life. Markata vairagya na koribe loka dekhana yatha bhunja anashakta hona. Whatever you are supposed to enjoy in grahastha life, you go ahead and do that, but do it without attachment. He gave this instruction and sent him back to his grahastha life. We have to see all these things in the right context. And then he said, at the right time, Krishna will relieve you. And he listened to what Lord Chaitanya said. And at the right time, he was able to leave his house and go back to Lord Chaitanya. And when Lord Chaitanya received him at that time, he told, very good you came out of your house. Very good you renounced your house. Your father, your father's brother are all very materialistic people. They are like worms in stool, sitting and enjoying. That place you left to serve Krishna, it's Krishna has shown you special mercy. But when he came that time, he said, go back home. Told him, go back home. It's not time for you. See? So these are all subtle aspects of duties that we have in life, grahastha life, in brahmachari life, in sannyas life, in vanaprastha life. The spirit of it should be understood. It may be a little different in details in Kali Yuga, but we must understand that we must execute it properly. Om Tat Sat. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Gaur Premanande. Any question or comment? Those who don't have children? How to? How to do Pindadana? Why don't they have children? That question should be answered first. Why don't they have children? Due to? Then the Shastra says some other things. Who will be able to do it? Who should do it? How it can be done? There are some other things. Then your brother's son can do like that and all there is. Other things are there, alternatives. But not supposed to be so fully effective. But there are other alternatives mentioned. I am not very clear to give you immediately an answer. But there are alternatives mentioned. Yeah, who else? It's mentioned that it is a Lord's plan because He is going to perform a wonderful pastime in Virya Rasa. And these are both Jaya and Vijaya who have appeared. So this is a special case where it is a Lord's pastime. And Diti Kashyapa are all playing a role in it. So it cannot be taken as a general example. That's why I have not dealt with that portion of it. I'm only taking what we have read. That's the first point. The second thing you mentioned is better than having unwanted population, you don't have kids at all. I'll be Varnashankara only if I kill all these people. That's a different thing. I'll be Varnashankara because women will not be protected, they'll become widows, their husbands are dead, and they'll be exploited, and they'll be Varnashankara. That is something else. Unwanted population happens when women are not protected. The Vedic culture is that women should always be under protection. They should be under the protection in the young age, under the father. When they become youthful, there should be protection from the husband. When they are old, they should be protected by the sons. That is the design. So Arjuna is worried that women will be without protection. That will create unwanted population. See, there is a whole science to everything. If this does not happen, this will happen. So we should not allow it to be without protection. That is his worry as a Kshatriya. That is all very sophisticated thought. It's not like what we think, small things. He is worried about the whole population being without protection. So his concerns are genuine as a Kshatriya. Better I don't fight this war, because I'll be the reason for this. Of course, Krishna clarifies it. That is not the main reason. Some other thing is the reason. Okay. In the case of Diti, you should understand, her interests are much larger than her position that she is showing. You see, they say it is like an iceberg. You know iceberg? They say, you know the phrase, tip of the iceberg, which means that you're seeing a very less of it. The most portion of it is underneath. Iceberg floats with there's a formula, how much of ice floats on the top? Some fraction is there. Most of it is underwater. And what you see on the top is only a very small portion. So they say that when a person is saying something and assuming a position, this is why I need it. No, that is not the reason. Underneath is his real interests, due to which reason he wants this. But he's showing you only like a tip of the iceberg. This is the reason. So Diti is saying, I am lusty. Please engage in sex with me now. That is her external position. Her real interest underneath is, all the other wives of yours have children. They are all my other relatives and sisters and everything. Why I alone don't have children? That is a great motivation underneath. But she's not showing that. Prabhupada is mentioning that in the purport. So every time when we say something, we don't talk about our real interests. We put only our position. Actually, this is why I want. Human nature is like that. It's like an iceberg. Your position which you take externally is not really the reason. You have interests. So real interest of Diti is what mentioned by Prabhupada. Others all have children, I don't have children. So it is not really very major for a wife within the confines and boundaries of her grahastha life that she is approaching her husband. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. It is not becoming dharmic. It may be dharmic or adharmic, does not matter. The Lord's pastimes occur irrespective of auspicious or inauspicious. That is beyond, it is transcendence. That and all will be overcome by his appearance. It has not got no consequence. Because Prahalad is going to come. She will later be told, you did this, no. You are going to have the result of it. But when she beseeches him, she says, but one thing will happen. You'll have a very saintly son. Hiranyakashipu will have such a saintly son, it will take care of every other inauspicious thing. Why? Devotional service, bhakti. He is a pure devotee. Everything else will be cancelled by his activity and by the Lord appearing as Narasimhadev. Victory. She will be the reason for that. Yeah. But a surrendered devotee does not think I am surrendered, therefore I don't need Pindadana. He doesn't think like that. Whether you want to reincarnate or not, you should do. You cannot think, these are all not your duties. Your duty is not to think, I'm already chanting Hare Krishna, I don't need to do Pindadana because I'll be liberated. That is too self-righteous and too over-assumption you have done about yourself. A devotee will think, I am a useless devotee. I am chanting full of offenses. Definitely I'll go to hell. I better do my Pindadana properly. This is the attitude of a devotee. There's nothing like that. You do your Pindadana, reincarnation will be decided by Maharaj, not you. You don't have to pre-decide your next destination and therefore decide not to do Pindadana or do it, whichever. You simply do your duty as you are meant to do. Don't pre-assume, prejudge and think of skipping some duty that you are supposed to. There is a story of that, Ghosh, what is his name? Govinda Ghosh. Govinda Ghosh, you have in near Mayapur, that village. Govinda Ghosh used to be very worried because his son is not there with him or something, and who will do Pindadana for me when I pass away. And he will very sincerely feel it. My Anteshti Kriya will not be done and I will roam around as a yaksha or a ghost or something like that. So the deity will speak to him and say, why are you so worried? Am I not your son? You have looked after me for so long. Will I not do Pindadana for you? You don't worry. So he passed away. Oh, Mukunda will look after. My deity will look after. He is my son. And even today the deity only does the final rites. Shraddha ceremony, the deity is taken. It's a big program the Lord is doing. It is not that he thought that I am already worshipping, talking to the deity here, what I have to do Pindadana for. He didn't think like that. He was so humble that he was thinking, what will happen to me? I am a useless devotee. So mostly devotees won't think that I don't need Pindadana because I've chanted the holy name of the Lord. If you're a grahastha, you should arrange for your Anteshti Kriya, do what is necessary. The rule may be, but Pindadana you don't have to do. No, he will do anyway. Advice that will be given is, you must do. Very, very exalted devotees only will take that step. Like Bilva Mangal Thakur, he said Tata bye-bye to all these rules and regulations. Sandhya Vandanam Bhadramastu means Tata bye-bye. My regular Sandhya Vandana I have to do. In Brahmins' houses they will do morning, afternoon, Sandhi time, they will do Gayatri. Om Bhut Bhut, they'll chant with their finger like this and they will look at the east and they'll chant Brahma Gayatri. They'll do Achamanam, they'll go around like this and they'll touch their, all that they will do. At the right time they're supposed to do. He became a devotee, Billu Mangal, because before he was a prostitute hunter and all that. Right? And afterwards a Chintamani prostitute led him to become a devotee. And he's telling now, now that I become a devotee, Sandhya Vandana, Tata bye bye, I'm not able to do. Because wherever I sit down, I cannot but remember that wonderful descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna. So, I think that is enough for me. Whatever you feel I have to punish me, go punish me, I don't care. I am satisfied by remembering this great, wonderful Krishna. Wherever I sit, I can't take him out of my head. So I think Sandhya Vandana is a waste of time for me. It will stop me from thinking of Krishna. This is a problem for me. It has exceeded, his remembrance of Krishna has exceeded all his so-called life duties. It has totally occupied him. So he's saying, "Now what is the use of doing Sandhya Vandana? I am not doing sadhana. I am already absorbed in Krishna." So such devotees can say, "No, I don't have to, because they are already absorbed in Krishna." But sadhakas should go and do it. Don't be prematurely transcendental. Yeah, then.
Maharaj mentioned brahmachari life we refrain opposite gender and we live in such a regulated life, but in grahastha life we live in an opposite gender in the same house and we try to follow a regulated way. But isn't it more difficult and
No, if you have led a proper brahmachari life, grahastha life will be proper. That's why you go through brahmachari life.
even though we are too much close to the following a regulated life?
You are trained. You are already trained. That is the meaning of brahmachari life. If you have not led a proper brahmachari life, then it is very difficult to lead a proper grahastha life. That's why you find divorce within 1 year, within 6 months, within 1.5 years. Divorce, we are not able to stay together. It's because of this only. You are not trained before. What brahmachari life you have led? You are studying in so and so boarding school. Why? Because my mother is working, father is working. But why you are working? Your father, your grandfather had so much money. Still we have to work. Mani eva gatiranyata. That is life, the aim of life, goal of life. I have all money. I don't know anything else in life. So I am working. So you might as well use your grandfather's wealth and shut up and keep at home and keep the child and grow him up nicely. But you're not interested. You send him to boarding school. And in the boarding school, he is hanging around with somebody else and here and there. No father, mother, no affection, nothing. He is told, send birthday greetings to your parents. Don't worry, you must send birthday greetings to parents. It is your duty, children. You must send at least a greeting card. Completely artificial. They should be living there with the parents. But now at least send a greeting card. Send a few roses and say, Mama, I love you. And then speak over WhatsApp and say, how are you? Did you eat? Did you this thing? Okay, fine, enough of you. Shut it off. I finished my job. They have no relationships. They're not grown with their father and mother. Father and mother are hankering. Once upon a time I had a child like this. Where is she? That's it. This is Kali Yuga. No relationships with anybody. Only with the mobile phone. Only relationship is with the phone. Phone eva gatiranyata. I don't have anybody else but this thing. Through the phone only I have relationship with you. But in the rest of life, through Krishna you have relationship with everybody. Right? So, one who has lived properly, who has been brought up properly, personally, personalism with relationship, with proper understanding, he will be a full person and he can handle it. For women, how to stay in family without attachment. Did anybody say that women should not have attachment? You can't be in family without attachment. The meaning of family is to have attachment. To have attachment. Especially women. You can't have children and say, I am renounced. I want a feeding bottle kudu. I don't want to be. You simply cannot. Because it is out of your affection that the child grows. It's out of your affection and love that the family comes together. The woman plays a very important fulcrum role inside. But you can still be Krishna conscious. It's not that you cannot accommodate your affection in Krishna consciousness. You can perform and you can, in fact, your affection for your family members will make your Krishna consciousness more deep. You can see in the prayers of Kunti that she is telling, constantly she has been with Krishna and she has been very Krishna conscious. And she has faced all sorts of problems and difficulties. And she has great affection for the Pandavas who are her children. Right? And she grew up like that only and became a very senior lady. At that time she is telling, cut off my affection for the Pandavas. That means she is having affection for the Pandavas even then. She is telling that you must Didam Pandushu Vrishnushu. All the Vrishni dynasty and the Pandavas and all of them, cut off my affection for them. Let my affection flow only for you. Gange Vaugham Udanvati. Like the Ganges gushes and flows towards the sea, with no other aim but to go and reach the sea. Like that, let my affection for you flow towards you only hereafter. I mean, she had attachment, and you can see it's a life of emotion and attachment, and Krishna is also inside it. He is never telling Kunti, don't be attached to Pandavas. He is not telling any of them, don't be attached to each other. Because that is a quality of personalism. How can a Vaishnava, a devotee, not be personal? Personal means relationship. Relationship means of various sorts. You can have relationship with your children. You must have. You're a human being. So, here detachment does not mean that you should not have human relationships. Detachment means you must be attached to Krishna. That's what it means. You must not replace your love for Krishna with attachment to other material attachments. That is where the problem comes. If you are cultured in Krishna consciousness, you will start developing love for Krishna. And because of your love for Krishna, you can maintain all other attachments at the correct place. It's tempered properly. You can manage it very well. But at the same time, it doesn't say that you should completely be devoid of any affection and love and attachment. And it is not like that throughout the Bhagavatam, you see. It's not like that. It is artificial. It's artificial. That is why Lord Chaitanya sent Raghunath Das Goswami back and said, this is artificial. You go back and live your family life. You do what you're supposed to do properly. Naturally, the renunciation will occur for you at the right time. Right? So women, they are not supposed to practice detachment like men. They are supposed to be giving their love and affection to children, because then only they grow properly. That they should do. At the same time, they should cultivate Krishna consciousness. For any type of challenges and everything they have, they should rely on Krishna. They should worship Krishna. Every grahastha should worship Shalagram, deities of the Lord in the house, and become attached to the form of the Lord in the house, and gradually develop bhakti. Bhakti means attachment for the Lord. All these things will automatically manage itself if you simply focus on developing your love for Krishna. That's all. Everything else gets averaged out. The problem is not all these things. The problem is that we are not becoming devotee. That we are not becoming lovers of Krishna. That should be the first concern. These things will get taken care of. Okay? Any other question or comment? Yeah. Yeah, there are some technical reasons for that and all that. I don't remember exactly. Why a sannyasi's body is not burnt, it is only given samadhi, buried. Because he has sannyasa, he has actually dedicated himself completely, mind, body, words, atma, in the service of the Lord. It is not considered to be material. So therefore, you don't burn the body to make sure that the soul does not come back into the body. The reason why body is burnt, Prabhupada explains, is the soul will try to get into the body again if you don't burn it. Burn it and make it ashes. Attachment. But a sannyasi, samnyasa, nyasa means he's given up everything and he's offered his body to Krishna already. So his body not considered to be, obviously not considered to be material. So it is given samadhi. This is what I understand. But there are other reasons also, technical reasons also for it. In fact, any devotee's body, not only sannyasi's body, any devotee's body is fully spiritual, especially if he has engaged himself fully in the service of the Lord. But a sannyasi is openly declared that I have nothing to do with this world. I have only Krishna and my service to Krishna, and I am completely given up to that. That's why he is called Maharaja, Swami, and people take blessings, ask him to give blessings like that. So his body is given samadhi. Om Tat Sat, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Gaur Premanande.